Why, hello everybody, this is Bard Thief, and I've got this Abus 8550 that I've recently gotten. This is an orange belt lock for the LPU, and it's not really the typical lock you see people using for the orange belt. You usually see them knocking out like a 5540 or something small like that, but this is just kind of like a big brother, in my opinion, to like the Abus 7240. Because they have similar style keyways, but this orange belt version just has a much larger one, even though they both have that same Yale style keyway. So if you're planning on doing the 7240 for your green belt, it might not be a terrible idea to, pick up one of these during your orange belt journey. Hey, quick cut. So this initially was just going to be a quick picking video on the Abus 8550, but then after the fact, it kind of turned into a discussion on zero lift pins. So if you're interested on hearing what a zero lift pin is and how to deal with it and how to identify one, be sure to watch till the end of the video. Thanks. So yeah, we'll try and get a pick on this one. I've picked it once before, so far. And we'll see if I can get around this in a way that you can see. Let's get closer. So I'm going to tend to use a combination of my Jimmy Long's short hook 22 and Peterson 18 thousandths medium hook. If I can figure out which tension tool I want to use. So the hardest part about this keyway is just getting a tension tool in there, but this one's large enough that I find like a 40 thousandths can get in there relatively easy without damaging the keyway, because a lot of times when you just shove one in there, it will distort the keyway a little bit. And a lot of the time with these Abuses, like the first pin you can just kind of set immediately and kind of get your false set right away. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know if that's the case for all Abuses, but I have a feeling it is the case. So, and then the 18 thousandths is just nice because of the restrictive keyway that's in here. So I believe these have spools in them. That felt like a spool actually already. So, and I believe this is what, 5 pins? I am so ill prepared for this. 2, nothing. 3. 3? Okay, a little counter rotation on 3 in a set. 4 feels solid, so we're not going to mess with 4. 5, I'm feeling counter rotation. So there's a good number of spools in this. Yeah, I think 5 is it. Well, I'm back there looking for a number 6. 2, am I feeling anything on 2? Maybe I'll try the Jimmy Long real fast to see if I can. Yeah, definitely feel something on 2 that was harder to get to with the higher hook. 2's not overset now, is it? That would be silly of me. But no, 3. Let's try 4 again. It wasn't. Still feeling solid on 4. Pretty sure 5 is reacting to my touch, so we're gonna see if we can push on 5 and see if we can get it to open, which we did. So yeah, it's a fun lock. I haven't tried opening it via any other means, so I don't know whether you can shim it. I don't know whether it's bypassable using comb picks like the 5540 is. But here's what our key looked like. I did not look at this beforehand, but this bitting actually looks pretty fun. If I can get this to focus for you, there you go. Yeah. So that high-low bitting is what's going to kind of dictate the fact that you're going to need to use top of the keyway tension and a deeper hook, because if you're using bottom of the keyway and just a little short hook, you're going to start oversetting these low set pins when you're trying to set the ones behind them. So yeah, not a bad lock. It's pretty fun. It's hefty. It's got a good click when it opens and when it closes. Nice. And I would say that had 4 spools in it, I think. I'd have to go back in the video and watch, but I think, like, I know there was at least 3, if not 4, which is a good amount for an orange belt. So I know the orange belt for the 80 is any model of the 85. So if you got like an 8540, this is the 50. That number might be different. It might have 1 less pin, something like that. Who knows? Not me. Maybe someday I will. Hey guys, I'm back. So, just a couple things that I wanted to mention about this lock that I thought of after the fact. So, while I was picking, I kept saying like, "Oh, 4 feels solid. I'm gonna keep moving on and not touching 4." And then looking at the key, we can kind of see what I'm referring to. So a lot of the times when newer pickers on these orange belts and even yellow belts, when they feel a pin that doesn't want to budge, they just are thinking, "Oh, that pin is binding. I just have to press on it really hard." And that's really not the case. So if you're pressing on a pin and it just is not budging whatsoever, and you have to feel like you have to press on it really hard to get it to set, what you're really doing is you're oversetting that pin, because what that not budging feeling is telling you is that you have a 0 lift pin, like this one does on number 4. So every time I got to number 4, I felt it not budging, so I said, "Oh, that might be a 0 lift pin," so I moved on to find something that would respond a little better. So that's kind of a good takeaway that I think a lot of people don't really understand, is that if there's something that's binding really hard, that's probably because there's just no room in the chamber for that pin to move at all, because the pin is so large. So when you're applying tension to the core, basically, like, that pin stack is already filling up the entire chamber. So when you try to push it up, it doesn't have anywhere to go, because it's a 0 set or a 0 lift pin. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. So if you're a newer picker on a yellow lock or an orange lock, and you're going through and then you're like, "Oh, this is binding really hard, that must be the pin," and then you can't understand why you can't get an open, that could be why. So if you're feeling what I'm describing, just keep going, you know? And if you noticed, by the time that lock opened, I never pushed on number 4. I just kept saying, "Oh, number 4 feels solid," and just kept moving. That's because number 4 is a 0 lift. Like, it's already at the shear line. So this is essentially only a 4-pin lock. But you have to realize that 0 lift is there. Otherwise, you're going to overset yourself every single time.